Welcome to another edition of Health Focus on GhanaWeb TV. I'm Elliot Nweti. On this episode, we're looking at testosterone enhancement. I'm here with Dr. Abigail Gasu Echampo.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, you're welcome.
Yes, thank you, thank you.
Briefly, before we start with the conversation, I would want you to introduce yourself to our audience.
Okay, my name is Abigail Gasu Echampo, and I work with Manake Health and Wellness Medical Center. I also work with Lima Men's Health, which we focus more on men's health. Okay. Yes.
Let's dive straight into the topic for today.
Okay.
What is testosterone, and then what is its primary function in the human body?
Okay. So the human body has both male and female hormones. The male hormones is the testosterone, and the female hormone is estrogen. So, for instance, with me, I also have testosterone and then I have estrogen. But my level of testosterone is lower than my estrogen. The estrogen is what gives me that feminine look, that feminine feel, okay? That makes me carry a baby, that makes me breastfeed. The testosterone part of it for you is what makes you a man, what makes you want to get up and go, what makes you want to do things, what makes you have erection. So that is the difference between the hormones for both male and females.
So if I get you right, TRT is what distinguishes a man from a woman, and is what allows a man to function.
Yes.
If that is the case, then what exactly is testosterone enhancement?
So, you know, for instance, the work I do, we usually take care of men predominantly.
Okay.
So an example will be, say, 10 guys come to my clinic, okay? And I decide to do their blood work to check their hormonal levels. Okay. Now, before they even come, some of the symptoms that they would tell me is, Dr. Abby, I feel tired. I feel like I'm holding on to water. I feel bloated. I'm sleepy all the time. I don't have morning wood. That's morning erections. I don't have that. When I go to the gym, I can press so many benches and all that. So what I do is we do blood work.
Okay.
And through the blood work, if 10 guys come in, 8 of them will have low testosterone levels.
For the purpose of those listening,
Yeah.
if you say blood work, what does that mean?
Oh, like labs.
Okay.
Yeah, we draw their labs and to check for their testosterone levels. Okay. And you will realize that a huge majority of men have low testosterone levels. And there's a few research out there that suggests that the overuse of plastics, okay? Now, for instance, here in Ghana, I know we have our water, all the water is in plastics, yeah, and it's in the sun, you know? And then also there are certain chemicals that goes in our foods that also prevent men's testosterone from elevating. Lack of sleep is one of those things too. So yeah, those are the things that affect the testosterone levels for men. And when that happens, then it comes with all those symptoms.
So now we've been able to identify what it is, its function to the human body. And you've mentioned that when people come to your health facility, for instance, and then you run some tests, that's when you realize that some have a low level of TRT.
Yeah.
So does it mean that people are only advised, or people can only enhance their testosterone when it is low?
Yeah, so, you know, before the man even comes, he's not functioning as a man anymore. He's coming to me because when he sits down, he sits down, then he starts falling asleep. Or you see the man and then they have this dad body where they have this big belly, you know, or, you know, the man is like, okay, so when I go to the bedroom to do things with my wife, it stands. By the time I try to penetrate, then it goes down, it goes limp, or I cannot even sustain an erection. So these are some of the things that make them come in to see me. So when they come and we do the blood work, first of all, before we run the blood work, you know, there are other causes of low testosterone levels. Okay. So a guy in his 30s should not come to me for testosterone replacements, because naturally your body is supposed to function to make that anyways. So if a guy in their 30s come to me and say, hey, I can't sustain erection, I feel tired all the time. I can't go to the gym. That's a big problem. Nature doesn't have it that way.
We'll be going back to talk about the causes of low TRT in men. But since you mentioned earlier that some people come to you, some men come to you to check their TRT level because maybe they go to the gym and then they are not able to bench a lot of times and they feel it is low. Now, among the youth, there's this trend where people tend to confuse supplements for TRT enhancement. They assume if I take this protein supplement, it would help me push more. It means that I have higher TRT. Is that even true?
So one thing I've found out through my work is, you know, before the men start even taking those medicines, it means that there's a problem, okay? So they have all these things in the market that they take. Some of them are made with soy-based products. Some have so much protein or anything at all they put in there just for the energy and to bench. Mind you, some of those things will increase estrogen in guys. That's not what you want. You don't want to start making babies and having big boobs and all that. So at the end of the day, you're rather hurting yourself. So it's always advisable to do it in the medical way. You know, seek a practitioner and say, hey, this is what is going on. So, for instance, a 30-year-old guy comes to me and I check your testosterone levels. Now, it can range from 300 to 900, okay? And everybody functions at different levels of it. So let's say your testosterone level is like 600 and you're okay. You're fine. You don't have any symptoms. You go to the gym, you press very well. You know, in the mornings, you see that you have some erection going on. So you're fine. But then, if somebody your age comes to me and have that problems, it's like, okay, let's find out what's going on because naturally, that shouldn't happen. So then you start to delve into their lifestyles. Okay, every day, you'll be drinking this, you know, water from this plastic. It accumulates in your system. You can't sleep very well. That will also accumulate because one of the things with testosterone replacement is also testosterone therapy enhancement. It's also when you sleep, your growth hormones is active that time. So you are more alert and your body is ready to produce that testosterone. So if you're not sleeping very well, obviously there's going to be lack of testosterone in your body. So we try to diagnose why they are having those symptoms. And you realize that it's either they don't eat very well, they're eating all sorts of things, they have diabetes, there are certain medications that will cause that too. You know.
So by far, one thing is clear that men beneath the age of 30 years shouldn't have low TRT level. Can you help us identify the general causes of low TRT? And then we narrow it down to why people beneath 30 years can have low TRT level.
Okay. So for people that are below 30 years, one of the major causes that I have found out is too much alcohol. Okay? Because it's a snowball effect. You're drinking so much alcohol, you're increasing your liver enzymes. Before you know it, your body is not functioning like it's supposed to function. Your body is now concentrating on the liver to heal it. Meanwhile, the other part is also lacking. So before long, you're developing diabetes. And with diabetes, because it's increased sugar levels in your blood, it tends to affect your nerve endings. You know, most people with diabetes, you hear that, oh, yes, when you have diabetes, so the toe is not working. And I say he's not feeling anything. Now, mind you, your penis also has nerve endings there. Into what diabetes are, it's going to affect your manhood as well. So your diet, the youth, their diet. And I will be one to start the campaign of eliminating plastics from anything. Bottles are good. All these plastic bottles of waters that we are drinking, it's in the sun. There are microplastics that fuses into this water and you keep drinking it. Before long, it's affecting your hormone levels. You know, and not sleeping very well too is also affecting our youth these days.
So those are the specific causes for low TRT. And what about the general?
The general. So basically the clientele that will typically come and see me will be somebody in their 50s and up, or maybe let's say, well, let me be a little gracious, maybe 46 and up. Okay, at that time, you know how women have menopause. When a woman hits 45 to 50, the estrogen level go down. Nature has it that way.
Okay.
That is why a 50-year-old woman is not supposed to be having a baby, because the hormone level goes down. The same way the guys do, when they get to 50, their hormone levels start to go down. So their testosterone levels goes down. Now, there are exceptions. You know, back then, our forefathers, I didn't think they had so many. A 90-year-old would be fine and have so many babies, you know, because they're eating well, exercising, going to the farm and all. But naturally, men 50 and above will start having low testosterone levels. So they can't press benches so much anymore. You see their bellies getting bigger. You see that when they eat, they sit in the evening, they start falling asleep. They have low energy. Okay. Yes.
In your practice, or throughout your practice, what are some of the popular reasons for which people have visited you for TRT enhancements? Okay,
so the number one reason is energy. Okay. That's the number one reason. So I will say that, so it comes in age ranges too. So let's say from 40 to 65 years old. Their number one reason for coming for TRT is because they want to feel like a man that will get up and go. They want to build some more muscle mass. You know, they just want to be able to go and do things, youthful again. So that is the main reason. Now, from 65 upwards is because of erection. Okay. It's because of erectile dysfunction. So they will come in and say, you know what, these days, I don't know, I go to the bedroom and my thing is like plastic. It's not standing, it's not doing things. So, you know, I want to try and replace my testosterone. Okay. It's also an anti-aging because they want to feel youthful again. Okay. So then they come and then we,
so those are the two main
those are the 10 main reasons.
One, they are not energetic in general, and two, they are not performing well in bed. So what goes into TRT enhancement? Can you explain the process?
Okay, yeah. So what happens is, so let's say somebody walks into the office with some complaints. Okay. So the first thing I do is blood work. Okay. The blood work comes, I review the blood work to make sure that it is not something structurally happening. That means that maybe you don't have an adrenal problem, or you don't have a problem with your pituitary. Okay. Or maybe you've had a head injury, so your pituitary is not working. So we want to rule that out. Now, majority of the case is secondary hypogonadism. And when I say secondary hypogonadism, it means that age is taking a toll on you, like menopause. Okay? So when that happens, then we look at your levels and then we dose the testosterone to you. Some guys will like the cream version of it, where they'll put on their skin, it's absorbed into the skin. Okay. Some guys will like to take the pills of it. And most of them, majority of them would do injections, weekly injections. And they would tell you that when I get my first week injection, by day 2, I feel like a man. I want to go out and do things. Okay? And then because when you inject yourself, the testosterone is like something you eat up, your body uses it. So by day 7, it starts to go down again. So when you stay on it, you have to consistently replace it.
All right. Yes. We are going for a quick break. Okay. And when we come back, we'll look at if there are types of testosterone enhancement. Before this interview, I watched some videos on YouTube, and I saw a lot of teachers who were saying that there are natural ways of increasing TRT. There are tablets to take. There are even fruits that you can take to increase your testosterone level. Let's go for this quick break. When we come back, we'll look at these things. It's still Health Focus on GhanaWeb TV, and I'm Elliot Nweti. Yeah, welcome back to Health Focus on GhanaWeb TV. I'm Elliot Nweti. Before we went for that quick break, we're talking about testosterone enhancement, and I still have with me here Dr. Abigail Gasu Echampo. Doc, what are the types of TRT enhancements?
So the TRT enhancements, I would describe it as a supplement, okay? Supplement of something your body has ceased to make, okay? And comparing that to females, you know, when you get to menopause and you're having all these symptoms, some females will go and do estrogen replacement. So the guys will do the testosterone replacement, and it will come in pill form, it will come in tablets, pills, or injections or creams, you know. But then there are other ways where you can really enhance it, you know.
I am interested in the other ways because before this interview, I did some research, and I came across this Indian teacher who was of the opinion that when someone is able to work on their low self-esteem and their confidence level, it can shoot up their TRT. How true is that?
So, I mean, so the whole thing is, again, like a snowball thing, okay? So if you don't have self-esteem or self-confidence, you already know that you are under stress, meaning that there are places you can go, but you can't go because in your mind, you're working on your own self. You know, you're like battling with you, and that will increase your cortisol levels. Cortisol is a stress hormone. And for me, whenever I think of cortisol, I think of acid. It's something that eats you up. You know, you start having hypertension problems, you start having cholesterol problems, you can't digest very well. So all these things can affect the human body, and the body is not working at its maximum best anymore. So that will reduce your testosterone levels. So I agree that working on your self-esteem can also boost your testosterone levels.
So that means that there can be social causes of TRT low levels. And if that is the case, how do you treat it? And how do you differentiate between biological causes of low TRT and then social causes of low TRT?
So I think that when it comes to trying to differentiate between the biological and the social, you have to look at the age. A 65-year-old, 75-year-old guy comes to you, you know age is taking a toll.
Biological.
A 20-year-old guys come to you, you know that, okay, number one, it's either they are not eating healthy, they have all kinds of diseases right now in their bodies, or, you know, stress level, you know, or taking too many medications, drinking too much alcohol, smoking too much weed. Those things can affect your human body not to be able to work at its maximum best. So, yeah.
When do we say that TRT enhancement is becoming too much? I'm saying this because earlier you mentioned that to enhance TRT, some take injections, and the injections can work in the body for about 7 days. After the 7 days, you must go after it. When do we know how to stop, or when should a person stop with testosterone enhancements? Okay, so the reason why before you do this, you have to consult a medical practitioner, because you're trying to defy nature. Okay, you're trying to do anti-aging, and sometimes your body needs to be monitored. It's not designed to do that. A 90-year-old on testosterone replacement, what are you trying to do to your body? You know, so who are you deceiving?
Exactly. So you only know that you're doing too much through blood work. Now, some of the side effects of testosterone is that it can increase your blood cells. So it can make your blood a little thicker. So when you are on replacement, maybe every 3 months or every 4 months, you have to check your blood counts. So your blood counts will tell you that, oh, you have too much blood. So if that happens, then you just go to the Red Cross and donate blood. Otherwise, what happens is that you can develop blood clots because you have too much blood. Your blood is a little thicker. And then sometimes too, because testosterone in itself is metabolized by the liver. So too much of it without being monitored by a practitioner and getting the right dose, what's going to happen is that you start having liver disease. And before long, you're having ascites where your belly is becoming bigger, and anemia and everything sets in and causes...
That was what I wanted to come to, because I spoke to one doctor who said just by taking pills, people can develop kidney and then liver diseases and failures and all that. So I wanted to know, can TRT enhancement lead to other chronic diseases?
So if I have to put a percentage on it, okay, in terms of the benefits, I think that TRT replacement will benefit you 80% of the time if you're doing it the right way. Okay. It will make you live long. It really will, because you have quality of life. Now, when you overdo it without being monitored, that is when it will shorten your lifespan, because now you're taking overdose of things. Okay. You know, I know that there was a point in time where I had a guy that comes, he was going for competition. So he needed to build more. So he's like, oh, you know, I want this and that. I dosed it rightly for him. Well, he went and got it illegally too, so he can get more. Now, remember, you're building muscle. Your heart is a muscle.
You're building it too.
So you're building it too. Before long, you have an enlarged heart. And with an enlarged heart, it doesn't pump effectively anymore. So now you have more problem walking, because you're getting tired. Your heart is not functioning like it's supposed to. The heart is not supposed to be big. You understand? Yeah. So too much of everything can cause problems.
Would you advise natural, let me, for purpose of this discussion, let me use domestic or home treatment with regards to testosterone enhancement? So you mentioned that you can take tablets, you can get injections, and it would help you perform. Now we have some youth who say, instead of going to the hospital to pay a huge chunk of money for that, why don't I just take rush with tom-tom, rush with this to give me that same energy for maybe the bodybuilder who wants to increase their TRT level? If I take rush and storm, I'll have the same energy to push. If I take this, I have the same energy to push. So why should I spend more when I can get this for just chicken change? What advice do you have for such people? So
testosterone replacement can be expensive. Okay, it's not for people that don't have disposable income. You have to have disposable income to do it. Yeah. So, but then there is also a natural way you can do it too. So, for instance, I will advise that you start eating. Atadri is a good one. Okay. Tiger nuts. It helps to boost your testosterone levels.
My friend Hazel.
Yeah. So tiger nuts is good. Now, making sure you're sleeping at least 8 hours at night. Exercising. You know, if you sit down, you wake up in the morning, and then you just sit down. Okay. It won't go up. But wake up in the morning, have some routine. You don't have to go to the gym. You can run around your area. Stuff like that can help. And then eating healthy. Also meaning that all these fried foods, you let go of it, because once you're eating all these fried foods and all that, too much salt, too much this, sugar and all that, you're building diabetes. Yeah. So your body is not functioning like it's supposed to anymore. Our local foods like banku and pepe, the best, with some Kita school boys, that's the best food. But you put it down, you put fried rice down, somebody will go for the fried rice than that one. You know, living rich. Living rich. Eating those green abomu and all that, those are good for your body. And then also eating in moderation. You know?
Are there other things a person should consider before going in for TRT enhancement? This is because you mentioned that for someone to go for that treatment, they should have disposable wealth or money somewhere. Yeah. Is there other things that we should consider?
In terms of
going in for TRT enhancement?
Yeah. So when you're going, okay, so the main thing you have to consider is that when you go for TRT replacement, the body is already not producing some anyways. That's why you want to go. Okay. The moment you start doing it, your body can get used to it. And it also means it's going to be a lifelong thing for you. Okay. So you have to make sure that you have enough money, enough income to fund that. Yes, because you know you will feel good, no doubt about it. But can you continue doing it? You understand? Okay. The body will cease to do it anymore. So let's say I'll take a 65-year-old that comes. Okay, Now, your body is making, let's say, 20% of its testosterone anyways, but you really want to feel like you're in your 30s, and you start the replacement. The body works on feedback mechanism.
Okay.
That also means that your brain, your pituitary detects that, oh, maybe Jack is putting testosterone in his body. So Jack doesn't need any more right now.
Okay.
So your body stops.
Okay. Let's go to the recommendations.
Yes.
For people so that they don't even have to, I mean, aside the biological factor, what do you recommend for us, the youth? I'm asking because you mentioned that taking substance from plastic is a leading cause of TRT low levels. What is the alternative? Looking at Ghana, looking at our economy, everything seems to be in plastic. What do you recommend for the youth?
My recommendation for the youth is, you know, I mean, it's going to be, I don't know, if there is a way to get bottle, like glass bottle water, that is the way to go.
Would metallic bottles be okay?
Metallic bottle is fine, so long as it's quality metallic bottle. Brass is a good one. Brass is a good one. But glass bottles is the best to go. You know, if you can find your own water, bottle it in glass bottles, you know. Some of my clients, you know, it's not only Ghana that has all these plastics. Everywhere. So most of them, what they do is they buy a water filter, put it in their house, buy all kinds of glass bottles, fill it up, take it, you know, bottle it and put it in their fridges and take it. Some people will even boil their water, put it in their glass bottles and take it and keep replacing it. It's better. At the end of the day, it saves you from cancer, it saves you from so many things, prostate issues and all that. Okay. You know?
What other lifestyle choices would you advise, would you recommend, for the youth?
My other lifestyle choice would be eating healthy, you know, and reducing alcohol intake.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Doc. This has been a very insightful section. To my listeners and then viewers, that is how we bring the show, Health Focus, to an end. My name is Elliot Noete. If you did not learn anything at all from this show, 2 lessons I want you to take home. First is, do not enhance your TRT levels by yourself. Always go to the hospital for that treatment. And secondly, practice healthy lifestyle choices. Avoid smoking, sleep early, eat healthy. This is how we bring the show to an end. Let's meet this time.